Hello everybody, my name is Elenator and we're already off to a drop in frame start. My, how terrible. Let me look at this real fast. Alright, so what we are doing is just trying to finish up on all of this. We have more of this redstone to take care of. I think I finished the inputs for each of these. There's that email I don't need telling me that I went live. So we have the inputs set up for all the AND gates as well as the outputs. So what I need to do, I have two ways to go about what to do next. I could set up the, because if I have the positive control, I could set up the negative control. Or what I could do is instead of doing the same thing with the negative control, I could start routing all the outputs, all the previous cells. And I'm thinking, how do I want to go about this? I feel like I'll start with the positive first. That way I could get one whole system going, and so once one system is going, then I could copy that, because getting the output from the previous cell is where difficulty's going to be. Don't tell me I only have a stack and a half left of redstone. Is this really all I have? No way. Alright, hold on. Let me grab all this stone. And I think we're also just going to take this shulker box back. I'm going to see how much redstone I have. Because I get the feeling I'm going to have to start digging up more of the blocks, more of the ore. Man, I've been spending so much redstone recently. There's also a couple lag spikes, and I don't know if something was just loading, or if there's a chunk somewhere around here that said, I'm gonna delete myself. And so I don't know if there's a chunk that just regenerated out of nowhere. I'm on the lookout though. Howdy Ian, welcome back. That cow's been sitting in that water for so long. Truth be told, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't drowned, but I guess if he's swimming then he won't. Alright, so let's go track down the goods. Beep beep, Mr. Golem. Go, golems, go! I see them brutally annihilating the slime over here. I'll take that, thank you. Today's a victorious day. What did you achieve victory in? I was wondering what that random pole is over there, but then I realized, oh, that's right, it's connected to the thingy up there. How to make sounds work in a jar file? You know, Minecraft always had its resources and its sounds played externally, right? You didn't want to do something like that. Howdy, howdy, welcome back. So we're gonna toss that down because turns out we have a lot of stone. Gonna probably toss all that stone. You know, no, not all of it. But with that taken care of, we're gonna grab another stone shulker box. And see just how much more redstone we have. That looks terrible. Hold on, let me fix this real fast. In fact, let me move these over. There we go. Okay, I feel better now that that's organized. Alright, so, for the redstone, I have 2 stacks of the ores. We're going to hold on to these because I might need them. I'm also going to grab a lot more torches because it turns out I'm using these all over the place. And then we're also going to grab, I guess, a little more repeaters. Howdy, Paul. Welcome back. Oh, I do have iron doors. I have a stack and 58 iron doors. Where are my regular doors? I done goofed because I have an extra 2 over here because I didn't think I had any more iron doors since I never found the iron door chest. Turns out my iron door chest was way over here. Alright, so I think... Let's see, I still have levers, still have redstone. I'll probably toss the... I'll probably toss the dirt while I'm here. It's 1 block, and I'll toss the spider eyes. Any zombie flesh? Nope, but I have a lot of slime balls. These should be cleared out as well. Alright, let's think. Let's see just how far we can get on the redstone before I realize I have no space and need to start expanding more. Today must be a bad internet day. I'm gonna blame the weather. Don't know if the weather's at fault, but I'm gonna say it's the weather. See, what are we at? 533 dropped frames, 2.4%. So long as the percentage remains low, I'll be fine. Good thing I cleaned out all the slime balls. I already see more I'm about to pick up. Alrighty, back to work. I wonder if I ever will come up with a more efficient mode of transportation that does not involve the elytra. I could make a dedicated ice highway, but I don't think I have a lot of ice right now. I think I spent most of it on the... Was it the end highway? No, I was expanding the one in the nether. I finished the one in the end a while ago. Now look at this. It's just this little cobblestone box that's missing the corner. When did that happen? Can't blame the Enderman, they don't move cobblestone anymore. Did I just really forget that block? Make an ice farm? At that point, that's too much effort. Alright, so let me lay this down. Alright, how are things looking? I guess this isn't as opened anymore now that all this has been taken care of. There's a slime in here? Is there really a slime chunk inside? That's not fun. Which one is it? If the slime spawned here, it could be this one or maybe this one. Oh, I didn't realize there's another chunk border. No pain, no gain. I'd rather just go out and dig up more ice spikes. We'll see if I ever make another ice highway over here in the overworld. Alright, so I'm thinking, I am processing, and figuring out how it is I want to do this. We're going to decide after a nice good rest. Maybe an idea will come to me. Because I need to know which one's the oldest cell and which one's the next one. So if we start with, let's say this one. Let's just say that's cell 1, 2, 3, and then 4. I think that's how I did it, right? This one's the farthest down. Yeah, so I'll start out with this one being cell 1. So we're gonna figure out how this one's gonna be handled, but I need to take the output of this cell and send it to cell 2. I should say send it to the AND gate of cell 2, which is right here. So we're gonna take this output and I have to power that signal. So to power that, I'll probably just lay down a line of stone across here and then just directly connect it. Oops. Oopsies. Hold on. Let's turn that one back on. I want all these to be in their on state for now. Oh, that's not going to connect. Alright, simple fix. Simple fix is move it over. That, hold on, which ones? I'll get rid of my fortune for now. So simple fix is getting rid of that block and instead having the signal be here. And I think I'm gonna need 2 repeaters. I don't think that'll make it. Oh no, it did make it. Cool. Alright, so what that means is now I have the output of 1 connected to 2. So now I need to take the output of 2, which is this wire. Oh boy, this is already cramped. I need to take the output of 2 and send it up to that one. Particularly the AND gate sitting way up there. So what I'm thinking, I might have the wire run across here. So I can have that. I can't have a block there, or else that torch will power it. If I had the wire go across all of that stone, that's going to be independent. So now I just have to get this wire connected to number 2 over there. I'll probably keep it across this back wall just so it's out of the way of whatever else I might be building. Because now I need to get this signal. In fact, I could run it across the back wall in its entirety. So then that way, all I really have to do is move that torch over. Oh no, leave that there. And so that one's coming right off the torch, which means this will last a while before I need another repeater. And oh boy, this is my last stack of redstone and I'm only on the second one. So that will go up there. You know, I think I'll just... Oh wait, I don't think I can get rid of that dirt. Oh, sorry, the stone. Can I get rid of the stone? We're gonna find out. I wonder how far, oops, I wonder how far that can go. Well, anyways, the signal needs to go to here. So let's bring that over. This will definitely run out. Yep. Alright, so now the output of 2 is connected to 1. So the next step, I wonder if I'm going to have a delay issue. I didn't think about that, but I've realized I'm still sending the input signal to all of these, which means I need the signal to be off by the time the AND gate here processes what's happening. I have not thought of that before. That's okay, I suppose. Well, anyway, so I have the output from 2 going to 3, so I need the output of 3 going to 4. This wire, right here. Oh no. I say oh no because I'm in a very cramped spot, but that's okay. So this wire just has to connect to, which one's the output? This one. Okay, so this stone cannot be dug up, but there's the signal that I need to bring over there. I wonder if I can run it across this side wall here. No, because that's the output. I can run it mostly across the side wall if I had it go in here. I'm probably not future-proofing this redstone very well for the other half of it I have to do. But at least I'm trying to keep the wires out of the way where I can. At least today I don't know if I was doing that so much the first time. But now I need that signal. So if I want that particular signal, I cannot run it across here. So if I do that... No, I don't think that'll work. Unless, can I lower that? Because if I can lower that, then that might give me enough room. In fact, I might be able to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this 2 blocks So then now the redstone is going to be placed there. I guess there's only one block. So then I could just run this here. Alright, so this signal, this one right here, I can get rid of that. So that signal there has to go to this wire here. In fact, I could keep it going all the way across there. There we go. Alright, coolio, coolio, coolio. So now, let me just plop the repeater. Whoop! I'm okay, said Captain Man. Just need to be in a place where I can face the repeater in the correct direction. There we go. And because every redstone's important, let me pick this up. Did that try to make me jump? Oop. Okay, I've had my fun. So, I think now we're all set. And I'm starting to realize then, do I particularly have a way to turn this one on? Because cell 2, 3, and 4, I have to power up. But cell 1, there's no previous signal. Right? I want to turn cell 1 off, but to turn cell 1 off, I verify if cell 2 is already active. Anyway, point being, I wonder if I don't need an AND gate when trying to turn it on. Wonder if I could just send the signal directly. Howdy, Rose. Been a while since you were last on here, I think. If I'm remembering correctly. Maybe I'm confusing you with someone else. Alright, so let me verify the current states of everything. If everything is timed correctly, this will work in sequential order. Oh wait, it's all open, isn't it? Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn everything off. Howdy, Mazov. Welcome back. I did hear about Vibrant Visuals. Sorry, Super Duper Graphics Pack is all enabled by default. I just have not seen it all. We have talked. Alright, you have been here before. Just making sure. I'm not good with names, and I for sure cannot remember everyone who's been on stream before. So what I need to do is force all of these to be off real fast. Because I need to know what happens if I press the button. I just need to get in a position where I can. Alright, so let me verify that everything is off. And then I'm going to press the button. Oop, hold up. Maybe I should catch some Z's first. I can't see the moon. I can't see the Zella moon because of the giant building in the way. There we go. I can see some of it over here. Eyes turn red. You can go to bed. I want to be friends. I feel like there's got to be a lot more setup required to being friends with someone. I'm also a very big stickler. Oh, hold on. There's a new-ish YouTube channel that's rather popular. Solace Speaks makes a lot of inspirational videos and whatnot with Minecraft as a backdrop. Perhaps you should hop on his Discord server. There's a recent channel, a recent thread or something started on his Discord server talking about how to make friends. I haven't gone through it, but I remember seeing that recently. So I click the power up button, and what happens? If this goes how I want it to, only one of these should be open. Hold on, I gotta take out this slime first. Oh, you know what? It's not gonna open. The reason why it's not gonna open is because I don't have a way to verify that first cell. Whoops. Hold on, let me make sure the signal can be passed through. Alright, so what I'm looking for is cell 1 would be here, so I can make sure it goes through by getting rid of that torch. Alright, hold on, let me... Oh, wait. You know what? Yeah, let me verify that everything's off again real fast. And I saw those sprinting particles for water. You know what I need? I need a staircase. This is gonna be temporary. I'll get rid of it later. But it's so much faster than running all the way around. So let me press the power up button. Let the redstone work its magic, and we're gonna see what state everything is in now. That one's still closed. But why? Oh, the first two opened. Okay, the first two opened, which is not what I want, and I want to know why the first two opened. Something with the timing. And what I feel like I'll need to do is I'll need to add additional delay to each of these. And I don't have a way to turn them back off. So let me see. So I have one repeater here. This one has two repeaters, though. That means... where am I supposed to put the slowdown? I feel like I'm gonna have to slow down the output, because this one has... Let's see, cells 1 has one repeater that goes to the torch. And then cell 2 has... one repeater. I don't have a way to get up there. Oh wait, yes I do. One repeater, and then another repeater, then the torch. So what I think I'll have to do is I'll have to slow down each of the outputs. Let me reset the system real fast. Turn everything back off. Because I think I needed to do all its math. Do all the math first, and then verify whether or not the signal is on. I should say, do all its math faster than the signal has time to change. That way the signals are set correctly before being read. Read and write. Read and write issues. Alright, so let's reset that, reset that. All signals now off. Okay, so what we are going to do is with the output being read back here, we're gonna increase that delay, and then over here, if this is also where the signal is being read, we're gonna increase that delay. I don't know how much delay I'm going to need. And so I'll have to increase that delay. Whoop. Because that's where that signal's being read. And then the last one is... Doo-doo-doop. Where's the third signal going to? Oh boy, I'm struggling. So this is the output that goes there, and it really does piggyback off of this one. Oh wait, hold on, I don't need to read the fourth output. Not yet. I don't have to read the fourth output because there's no fifth cell. Howdy, howdy, welcome back. So let me verify if I did this correctly. Alright, closed, 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 closed. So now if I press the power up button, it should only do one signal. And doink. That one's closed, that one's closed, that one's open. It still opens both. Why you opening both though? The best I can say is keep up with the guide series. I will say though, I'm unable to solve the MC Edit issue because if someone else I know where MC Edit doesn't work for him, and that's not something I'm able to find a solution for because of how difficult it is to find the program. To find documentation for it, I should say. Alright, so let me think. This one's the first output, which means... what if I really do just need more delay? Oh, you know what I could do? Drop a repeater there. That'll simplify the redstone. Nope, I cannot drop the repeater there unless if I were to just... I could just leave that dust and not have it connect to anything. Just to make sure that this wire goes straight. Eventually, we get the opportunity to toggle between a dot and a cross, where it has all 4 outputs connected, but we don't have that yet. We have to wait a few more updates. I think it's 1.16. 1.16, where it's either 1.16 or 15 where we could change the state of the dot, but we don't have that ability yet. So once I can make this into a cross, no, hold on, make this one into a cross, then I don't have it to be a straight line. Anyways, not important. We're gonna try this again. We're gonna try this until it works. One big thing with redstone is if you're playing in single player, you don't have any easy way to debug it. But yeah. There's an old program back from 2011 or 2012 called RedROM. What it was used for was, it's a 2D program used for making redstone things. I found it to be rather interesting. And then what you could do is you could export the RedROM file as a MC-Edit schematic and then load it with MC-Edit. Pretty cool stuff. I never used it though. But rather interesting, I say. Alright, so click, you press the power up button. Closed, 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 open. I was right, I do need more delays. So now I have 1 open and 3 closed. If I press the button again, am I going to get 1 more opening or 2? I want only 1 more door to open. That one's still closed, that one's closed. Okay, cool. So yeah, open, open. So if I press the button, the 3rd door should now open. I say door, but it's a piston, not important. Click. I press the power up button. That one's still closed. That one's open. Open, open. So now if I press the button 1 more time, the 4th piston should open. And hodoink. We're gonna find out in the morning. 2017, way back, what was that, 8 years already. Time has gone zoom. Anyways, with how large of a scale Minecraft is nowadays, there are so many things to learn about it. I'm better with old Minecraft back when the game was far simpler. Point being, don't worry too much about your current skill level. So now I have to do the same thing in reverse, where if I press this button, the power level decreases, because now I need to close off door number 4. Alright, well, time to make another set of AND gates, because I understand the concept, and it really was as simple as just opening and closing. So what I need to do now is, I need to ensure that, I should say, with power level down, I need to make sure that the 4th cell always turns off. So what I'm gonna do real fast, I've realized, is I could just put this dust here. Oh wait, hold on, maybe I won't be able to. I need to send this signal, but I need it to be faster. I could speed this up if I do that real fast, but hold on. Let me disconnect all this real fast. Oh, in fact, hold on, I can just get rid of the repeater. So that's the same as sending the full signal. I send this here. What I need to do is make sure that this wire does what it needs to, because this AND gate does not need to be here. I could simplify the redstone by just having this go here, because there's no AND gate. If no matter what the power level is, always turn cell 1 on when powering up. So the question is, does that mess with my timing? I'm not too concerned if it's going to end up being slower. I should say I'm not too concerned if I have to slow it down too much, as long as everything works. Yeah, this signal here, we're gonna see if that messes up the timing. Let me turn everything off again. That also frees up a little bit of space here. Because I want all of these closed. Let me verify real fast that everything's closed. Ideally, this would help me because it means I can process that first one faster, but one thing at a time. Alright, everything's closed now, so let's head back up. So I guess thankfully it's not 2 sets of 4 AND gates, it's only 2 sets of 3, which means instead of building 8 in total, I only have to build 6 in total. So that saves me space overall. Alright, so now we're gonna try this real fast. See if I could... Hold on, if I replace this with just regular dust. Yeah, if I set that one back to a regular repeater. Back to here. Let me just set both of those. 0 delays. Did my mouse die? Yesterday I thought my keyboard died, but I'm kind of feeling like that was just an I/O problem. Let me plug my mouse in. There we go. USB bandwidth I/O issue. Alright, I don't remember if I pressed the button. I don't think so. Let me check this real fast after adjusting the delay. Alright, everything's off. At some point, I'm gonna have the lamps. I'm going to put redstone lamps as a display in here for each of the power levels, but that's gotta be last because I need to make sure all this logic is completed first. Oh, wait, hold on, let me connect that. I forgot. I think. Yeah, I need to make sure that I have the logic behind this sorted out first. So if I just press one button, do we have the same issue we had earlier? Am I going to need to slow it down some more? Close, close, open, open. Okay, so I was right. That did speed up the processing time. So instead of having 2 repeaters at max tick, maybe I'll be able to only have 1. I'm indeed not a teenager. I passed teenage years a while back. I've been making YouTube since I was a teenager. I've been making YouTube videos. And I don't think that needs to be there, does it? Nope. Goodbye, stone. Alright, turn that off, turn that off. So, I'm going to increase the delay. Probably for this one. That way, if I end up pulling from the signal at any point past this repeater, I'll have this delay already accounted for. You know what I can almost do? I'm looking at this, but you know what I could almost do? I could just run a wire from here straight across. I didn't realize that. I'm going to keep this space open for now and keep the wire pressed against the wall. I'm going to have to delay it anyway, and so this just keeps everything organized. I'm prioritizing getting the signals where I need to, which means I'm trying to leave as much space open in the middle as possible, because that tends to be where most of the logic has to be. So that way all the routing, all the wire routing is on the outside. Alright, and click. So if I press the power up button, do I still have the issue? Or am I going to have to add additional delay? That one still opens. Okay, so I guess it doesn't make a difference. I'm going to have to leave it closed. The Taylor Swift songs I've heard are gonna be, you know, about 15 plus years old. I don't listen to anything she does now. And I do not listen to her stuff on a regular basis these days. So I should say, I stopped listening to Taylor Swift around the time you were born. 2010 is the last time I can remember based on an old iPod Touch I have. Maybe as far up to 2012, but that was still 13 years ago. Let me make sure all this is off. So much back and forth. Oh well. If I had an easy way to debug this, I would. That would save the overhead. So I press that button. I should now only have 1. I still have 2. So that means I need even more delay. Because what ended up happening is taking out the delay for this to process has really taking out the delay for this to process has really added, or is really a big problem for processing the next wire. Because I need this one to be done and over with. But I need to make sure that the wire, when I read it, that this one's already, I should say when I process this one, I need to take care of that one first. So I want to speed up the processing for the input, but I want to slow down the output. What do I add another repeater? I don't know, I could just set it back here, I guess. So now let me reset all of this real fast. Oh, you know what? Hold on, I can get rid of this. I don't have to go up there, I can just use this one. So much for that staircase. Turns out there's not much staircase here. How's it already nighttime? I feel like I just slept. We're 40 minutes into the day, and I've done very little. Alright, I just had to verify everything was shut again. And I don't. Nope. Eyes turn red, you can go to bed, except you can't see the eyes when there's a giant building in the way. With a bright neon sign. It's not too bright because the bottom all blue. There we go. Alright, so now everything's off. Press the power up button. That one's closed, that one's closed, that one's closed. This one's open. Okay, so now let me verify the next one. I don't plan on utilizing glow ink sacks for the time being with maps and stuff. I feel like I already had this conversation recently. I don't know how much I'll be using glow ink sacks with maps to make stuff. I do not have a Discord server for my channel. I don't want to moderate it. I've never had a public Discord server dedicated to me. I'm in so many Discord servers as it is. Why do I need one when I'm already all over the place? That's another reason. Closed, open, open, open. So it looks like I solved that first problem, and now I have my solution for when multiple open at a time later, which is likely to happen depending on how many repeaters I end up using. Did I do this right? Hold on, let me set this. Let me close 2, 3, and 4 again. If you talk mostly in one server, is there a reason you're asking if I have a server? Close 3, close 4, close 2. I don't need to reset 1. I also don't know how much of a delay between each button press, so I'm taking this real slowly. Let me just make sure I did this right. 4, 3, 2, open. So if I click that one, we should be at 2. One, 2, open, open. So if I press the button one more time, I should have 3 open. There we go. Okay, and then I already know the last one works. So let me shut all of these again. Do I want them closed or do I want them open? You know what, I think we are indeed gonna power them for now. Well, in fact, I could just click. So I want all of them open. So this way, with everything on, now I have to start backward and turn it all off. Just gonna get rid of that, taking up space. We're gonna leave this this stone in the middle for now because this platform's nice with walking around. I'm gonna put a torch there, they're a little dark. In fact, I think I'll also put a torch up here as well. Don't know if mobs can spawn on redstone, but we're gonna hope not. So now what I need to do is I need to build 3 AND gates because power level 4. So that's which one is that? Cell 4 is this one, which means this does not need an AND gate. When I press this button, turn it off no matter what. Because whenever I press the power down button, I always want to power this one down. I just realized if I wanted to prevent button spamming, what I could do is just have a NOR gate. So I need this signal and not this one. I guess that's a NAND gate, not a NOR. Anyways, point being, I wanted this one and not this one. So that way, if that signal from the button directly is still on, the other signal won't do anything. Alright, anyways, not important. So, what we need is to get that signal down here. And you could see, what low space we have. Because that's the signal. I could, if I really wanted, I could have the dust go here. I just can't put a block above this torch. You pushed her down the stairs and she threw a burger at you. Such drama, it sounds. Alright, let me connect this. So there we go, fast processing, boom. Which means this output's gonna have to really slow down, but that can wait. So now, if everything's correct, which it should be since that's not going anywhere. If everything's correct, that's already going to be anoink. Yellow twins. Still sounds like drama to me. Howdy Minty, welcome back. Your favorite YouTubers indeed streaming. Your favorite YouTubers doing logic gates. Just like yesterday. Alright, so everything is open. So if I press the power down button, number 4 should close. So if I click, that's going to process really fast because there's no overhead. The wires for this are so short. I'm only using 1 or 2 repeaters. So this one's going to process really, really fast. So therefore, oh wait, hold on. So if I press the power down button, number 4 closes. You ready for this? Now if I want it open again, I can press the power up button. And yes, howdy potato, welcome back. It was in your dream. Okay, that makes more sense. I was taking this at face value. Alright, let me press the power down button again. There we go. Alright, cool. Now I just have to replicate this 3 more times. I'll deal with the slowdowns later. Truth be told, I'm kind of tempted to go back with a bunch of signs because... Or come back here with a bunch of signs and start labeling wires. Like cell 1 input, cell 1 output, and so on. Because some of these wires, I kind of have to follow the trail until I figure out where exactly it's from. Okay, so this one's here. I need to take... Oh, you know what? No, hold on. You know what I don't have right now? I don't have an AND gate. So what I'm going to need is 2 signals. I'm going to need 2 signals, and it's going to have to power this torch. I have to take the signal all the way to this torch. That should be fine. There's plenty of space right here. So if I just run this wire like that, that way this will connect here. So I need that signal and cell 4. If I'm turning off 3, I need 4. Miss crouching in InfDev? Yeah, unfortunately, crouching will not be for several more versions. You have to get through all the Secret Friday updates first. Alright, so what I'm sort of envisioning is, what if I just take that wire and I could probably build the AND gate. Since I'm only gonna have one, it's not too important where I put it. I'll just set it up here. So I'll just take that wire. It's up to you whether you prefer survival or creative. Because InDev has most of the classic blocks. And plus a few extras for survival-based stuff. Whereas Classic, you have access to all the blocks in Creative. They're a survival test, but that's sort of its own thing. So it depends on whether you prefer Creative or Survival when it comes to Classic versus InDev. The terrain itself is mostly the same, except InDev has a lot more world presets. Alright, so I need that signal and the output for 3. I'm gonna have to slow down the output for 3, I've realized. So let me just build this. Oops, that's not gonna work. That one has to be up. I should make all of this up. Alright, there we go. So I need to make sure that that one processes, and then I'm gonna have to take that output, which means does your reason for why you don't like Beetroot involve chemistry and or philosophy? Alright, so I need that wire there. Oopsies. You know what? No, slow that down. I need that to be really slow. I just don't know how slow it's gonna have to be. So then I could do that. Farming efficiency. I see. Nope. I'm okay. You know, here, let me sleep. I feel the darkness coming in already. Alright. So we are looking at... Oh, wait, hold on. Is this output for 3? I was supposed to take the output for 4. Oops. Hold up, I did this wrong. This is 3. I don't need 3 to process 3. I need 4 to process 3. Alright, let me get rid of that real fast before I done goof anymore. Alright. Doo-doo-doop. Sierra and Sarah. I did not know that. I did not know y'all's names. Alright. So I need this one and that signal. Okay, so I could still keep this here. Oh, is that gonna work? Alright, yeah, that lines up. Alright, so there we go. I'm so used to having standard farms, standard wheat, potato, and carrot farms just being in a 9x9 plot with 1 water in the middle to maximize water to crop ratio. I'm not concerned about time because I generally have not concern over the time. 9x9, but alternate the rows. Oh, I see. I can't process that way because I'm used to just keeping everything together. Even though, yes, I do remember hearing that keeping them different makes them grow faster. Alright, so now I have 4 and 3. Question is this going to affect 2 or 1? Rose. Interesting. Let me power that up real fast, let it do its processing. Power that up again, let that do its processing. I'm probably just going to build the next two AND gates. I need to make sure this is all open though. Alright, yeah, let's go. So now the question is, where do I put them? Based on the space I have, I'm pretty sure I wanted to put them back here. Then we'll have to worry about the output signal. Maybe I should send it over there first. Oh, wait, hold on. Do I even have space to send it over there? I kind of put these really close together. Decisions. You know what I need? I realize I need more stone. Oh, hold on. Let me num real fast. Oh, of course. Where'd all my stone go? Not here anymore. Alright, I can probably put away the cobblestone since I haven't been building with that. Depending on what version you start in, you're going to be limited in how far backward you can go where the world file is readable natively. That's unrelated to using external tools to downgrade the world itself. Otherwise, every release after 1.12, the world is going to not be downgradable. So from 1.21 to 20, it resets, 20 to 19 resets, so on all the way. And then from 1.2 through 1.12, you can downgrade, and for the most part, stuff just starts getting deleted. And then between beta 1.7 all the way back to beta 1.3, the game might crash, or stuff will get deleted as well. I do not know crop speed or how to fully test crop speed without physically waiting around to verify, because I feel like this is something you would need a large sample size for. (14W27B) is rather specific. If you had a very large quantity, and if you wanted to measure enough time, physically spend the time to measure across a large version set, feel free to go so. Maybe it could be like, oh, sugarcane grows faster on sand. Even though that was never true. It didn't even grow on sand originally. Can't remember what version added it. So much traveling. At some point. I did not know you have curly hair. What mods am I using? Howdy, welcome to the stream. I'm not using any mods, I'm just using a resource pack that has been dedicated to the series. Most of the textures are from old versions, but I do have some custom stuff in here as well. Alright, let me think. Were you the only one who has said that crops grow faster when they're separated? Because if that was only ever you talking about it, then perhaps it is just you. If you want to do the science, you know, like the old show hosted by Austin, want to do the science behind it, feel free to do so. It's just not something I'm going to take the time to do so, as it's not practical enough for me, since I don't utilize time when it comes to crops. I just let it do its thing for a while, come back later. If it's turning night, do you have everything all set up? Have a safe place to be? That's a Cheez-It. There's a Cheez-It at the bottom left. That Cheez-It there is for all the times I've cheesed it. Terrible gamer pun. Terrible puns every day. Oop. I guess that's why it takes nearly double the land, because I just let it sit for a nice long time. I'd rather have as many crops to collect at one time and just let it sit there for however long it needs. I'm trying to think. I need this wire. This is the signal I need, and I'm trying to figure out where it goes. It doesn't produce 80 wheat. It produces whatever mathematics it comes down to. How did I cheese it? NBT Explorer. I don't care about the wheat output, I just want to maximize surface coverage. It's not one wheat every time, though. Is this just on average? And I don't use it for crafting enough. I'd rather just store it in the chest. Unless the chest fills up, then I combine it in the hay bales. Do I want to just run the signal backward? Because I could try feeding it in sideways. Every wheat crop produces one wheat. Has it always been like that? I thought it was, like 0 to 2. Unless it's, you know, harvest early, then it only gives you seeds. I did know that. And I'm trying to think. The output is way over on that side. So I can either have the two AND gates over here, like above, or I could keep them way in the back. And I'm kind of leaning towards keep them back here. That way the output signal is closer. I don't care enough about crop farming. It's just I need food. I make wheat. It's that simple. 0 to 2 seeds, always 1 wheat. Okay, I didn't realize that. Regardless, I don't care if I only get 80 wheat, because I just make bread. Alright, to start in the Nether, assuming you're playing single player. Oh, you know what? You don't even need single player. Because if you utilized... Oh, that's not going to work. Hold on, I have a wire up there. I think. If you had a server running Alpha 1.2, you would just set the... tell the server, hey, no overworld. Because the Nether support wasn't added until beta 1.6 to multiplayer. Alright, there we go. So I'll keep this here. So if this one is between the two wires, can I fit that over here? I think I might be able to. The wheat averages out over such a large quantity. I don't need a per collection size. I just need over time. Alright, so the question is, can I get this wire? Oh, wait, hold on, I'm on the wrong side. Oops. I do not have the space over here. Alright, so what we'll do... Can I slide this over? I might be able to. I don't need consistency for such a large sample. That's where the wire comes down. I could, like, put this on the floor. It's only possible you can, for servers, for the Nether on servers, the server would either be the overworld dimension 0 or the Nether dimension -1. The server cannot switch between each. But otherwise, regular single player Nether works just fine. But yeah, old versions, if you were to die in the Nether, you'd respawn in the overworld, which is why that would not be an issue on the server, since it didn't function like that. Alright, so I'm trying to think where to put these, because I have low vertical clearance here. I have low horizontal clearance here. That's the signal that has to come down. I might be able to, like, squeeze it way in the back here. So if I had 2-block distance, I could put one set of 3 there. Probably a 2-block gap. No, maybe I'll just have a 1-block gap here. No, I'll make it another 2. You cannot enter the Nether that early on. The Nether was not added until Alpha 1.2. I'll probably just run the signal to here. Because if this comes down, what I could do is have the... Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to have to make sure that this is all solid, because I can't run a repeater there, or else the block will power that. So that has to be a regular whatchamacallit. If I really want, I could just extend the AND gate. It doesn't have to be the regular T shape. Alright, so I can have that there if the signal itself remains separate. Decisions, because if I could run this wire down here, I still have to get the output signals. Maybe this is going to be easier than I thought. If I just have the signal for 2 running to 1, then I would just have to get 3. Oh, but this is like a giant crisscross pattern. Decisions. Maybe I should favor it in terms of where the output is. I don't use the official launcher much these days. I use multi-MC and Betacraft. Making an L does not sound very nice. Play Bedrock more than Java. I can't do that. Bedrock makes me sad, as someone who's gotten used to the functionality of Java. Java's only bad depending on if you're playing vanilla or not, and on what version. It used to run much better. It's also hardware dependent, whereas Bedrock's designed for such a wide range. Mobile devices. Can we get rid of them? Alright, so I'm trying to think of the best way to process this signal here, and I wonder... let's see, would I be able to move this up by 1? I might be able to slide this upward. That'll give me a little bit more space, since there's nothing up here that I have to worry about. Let me clean all this up real fast. Alright, so that's probably going to have to slow down, but no, I don't think it will. In fact, it's probably better if it doesn't slow down. That way it could process faster. Anyways, not important. Let me move this all over. Oh wait, no. If this is gonna be down here, I should be taking advantage of as much much lower space as I can. If you were having terrible frame rates on the earliest versions, like InDev and earlier or Classic, that's probably because it doesn't like integrated graphics. Are you playing on a laptop? You need to make sure you have a dedicated graphics card and not use integrated graphics for the oldest versions. I don't know if the signal's gonna reach. Hold on. I can probably count. So this is 15, 14. This is 1. This is the first 0, which means this has to be... I need to put that there. And again, NVIDIA, drop a few $100s on a graphics card. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, if you're playing on a laptop, is it a dedicated gaming laptop? Because if it's a dedicated gaming laptop, you might have a dedicated GPU on there. Step 1 is you'd have to switch to desktop. Okay, so that one's connected, and I need the signal from... Let's see, so I have the AND gate for 3 connected to the output for 4, which means the AND gate for 2, which is this one, has to be connected to the output from 3. The output for 3 is this one. Oh, well, that's nice. It's just right here. I'm pretty sure HP does not make dedicated gaming hardware in such a manner. Well, I should say they might have stuff they bring together, but it's not their own. And I don't know if 2 repeaters is going to cut it. Alright, well that's nice. No, that's not nice, because... Wait, this is the output for 3. Which means, yeah, this one I just need the output for 2. The output for 2 is which wire? I think that's this one right here. Well, that's nice. This is also the output for 2, just right here. Alright, so this is gonna be... Turns out I was overcomplicating this the entire time. Was it really such a simple solution? I was trying to figure out space and wires and all that, and then I looked and I realized, is that even necessary? Because I need the output for 2 to go to 1. Okay, I think, yeah, I did complete this. So now what I need is I just have to get those signals and bring them all the way forward to power the blocks over here. Alright, so connect that way it's separate, and then I just have to run this over. That connects right. Yep. I'm out of redstone. Oh no, hold on. We're gonna head up top real fast. Let's dig up all the... Oops. Oh, it's raining. How long have I been down there? Alright, hold on. Let me repair all this real fast. Nope. You can assign Java to use your graphics card, but that's only assuming you have one installed, and so that's what's being asked. Do you know if your laptop has a physical graphics card? Or do you only have Intel? is if you only have Intel, then you will not be utilizing NVIDIA on that laptop without getting a new laptop or having a desktop. It is raining, but I don't think we're at Endevia Plateau over here. In fact, hold on, let me take my armor off real fast because I don't need whatchamacalled. Should have done that sooner. I didn't need XP going to my armor. That was a waste. Whatever, now we have plenty of redstone. Except I don't know how much more redstone I really need, since I think we're nearly done here. So I finished this wire, right? No, I didn't. I ran out. This is where I ran out. So then that wire will make it. So now this one, I just have to do the same thing. This one I could probably run across the surface. Across the wall here, I should say. Oopsies. Didn't mean to do that. And then I know that's going to reach since that's less than 15. Alright, there we go. Let me verify that everything is open real fast. Oh wait, I don't need to go over there, I can just look at the outputs. So on. Everything's open. Cool. I don't know if ThinkPad's gonna have a dedicated graphics card either. Redstone's making your brain hurt? I don't blame you. It's taking a lot of processing power. Oop. Hold on, this is rather dark. I want to put another torch here. Is there any other darkness? Y'all know me in even numbers. I have so little space right there. I wonder if I'll have to move that wire around. Oh, that's my problem. I can't sprint anymore. Because I need to put the... Well, I don't really need to, but I wanted to put the output here. Which means I needed enough space for 4 lamps to be powered individually. And I don't think that's going to happen. So, we'll figure out what I end up using that space for later. If I really need to, I can extend the building. I'd probably have to go that way. That's the direction, if I want to make sure I have enough space. Well, anyways, let me just make sure that all of this is open right now, because now I need to close it in sequential order. Alright, yep, we're all set. If you ask for a non-gaming computer, then you'll be having the same performance problems with Classic. You bought big Cheez-Its at the store? I haven't had those. I've seen them when I was last there, but I haven't purchased any. Okay, so we have a problem. I pressed the button and they all closed. That's not what I want. Oh wait, hold on. Does that mean I could press the button and they all open again? I might have to press the button just multiple times. Okay, so yeah, this is not at all what I want. And wait, boop. Let this run its thing. You can fix integrated graphics by downloading the driver. I haven't heard of that before. I thought it was a hardware thing unable to be fixed. Alright, is that all 4 doors open again? So I done goofed on the logic, but I want to know why that is. Oh, I think I know why. Potentially. Maybe this is one of those, it has to process first. I should say I want it to process faster. Unless if I want the inverse. Maybe that's what I need. Maybe I'm supposed to be getting the inverted output of the signal. Decisions. Because I want to power down if the one below it is on. Or sorry, the one above it. So there's nothing for 4. And so for 3... Maybe what I do need to do is decrease the delay. Doo-doo-ba-doop. I wonder if that means I should process it slower. Oi, back, forth, back, forth. You could do one thing one way, and then you try to figure it out in the other direction, and you have to rethink what needs to flip and what has to stay the same. Constants and variables, said Bioshock Infinite. PS4, $300, iPhone. This is so much stuff you're getting. My goshness. You know everything you're getting for your birthday 6 months ahead? This is rather complicated. Alright, so I need... Gonna set that one back to nothing. Unless, can I go all the way? I can. Alright, we're gonna try this out. Let me just make sure everything's on right now. Sweet 16. Going all out, I guess. Alright, so everything's completed. Yeah, with this much money, your folks can totally afford a gaming computer at that point. If you're expecting all of this. Still can't sleep, come on. Come on, son, go away. Alright, now you lost me at buying a house. I think to myself, I don't know, even if you can afford one, I don't even know if it's wise to manage a house at such a young age. Now we can catch some Z's, reset the weather timer. If the person's trolling, I'm still having fun. Alright, so let me verify that everything's all set. I made a mistake. I'm looking at this and I made a mistake. And I'm mad that I didn't catch it until now. Simple solution, real simple solution, but I made a mistake. Look at this, right? 1 plus 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 1. Then look at this one. 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1. This piston was never right. It has to slide to the left. Simple solution because that just means I just have to run this wire 1 block farther over. But I didn't realize I made a mistake here. Oh, come on, the thing I needed. Get back here. Oh wait, nope, I needed that. Alright, so move this over. That's what your sister said? Okay, I feel like your sister is the one doing the trolling then. And badoop. Uh-oh. Did I not do this correctly? Because apparently I ran out. Hold on, let me go get some more. Oh wait, I have a staircase, I forgot. I feel like y'all could be besties. I could see that happening. Alright, let me head down here. Alright, so we're looking at bringing all that together. Did I really not drop any of them? Alright, well, now that that's fixed, what was I doing? I was testing the system. I just had to reset everything. And when I was looking down there, I realized, oh, that doesn't line up. One, two, three. Let me bring all that together. I'm really surprised I never caught that before. At least I built the width correct, I just didn't put the piston in the right space. The redstone update was 1.5. I passed the redstone update a while ago. I don't think redstone's gonna have any major changes in the future, other than a couple new blocks. Alright, so with everything open, if I press this button, what happens? Howdy, 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 Pink Sounds, welcome back. So that one's closed, that one's closed, that one's closed, that one's closed. Alright, that means there's a flaw in my logic here. Robux was on Coinbase? Why would... You know, I don't think I need to know why, because I feel like someone would do it. That's only depending on if it has a way of measuring its value compared to standard currency. Alright, let's slide all that over. When we get to 1.18, it's going to be a brand new part to this series, since I'm only going up to 1.17 before taking a break. Alright, here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to tear down the... Hold on, I might have to just grab a pencil or paint. I might just grab paint and try to plot this out again. Because when I wanted to turn off, I should say I want 4 to turn off every time. That's the easy one, so that one can be left alone. I want 3 to turn off. Oh, that's right. I want 3 to turn off if 4 is off. So I do need the inverse signal. So that means I do need to grab the inverted signal. Alright, I can do that. The new terrain generator doesn't ruin the Polyworld style, it just makes it harder to spot chunk borders. Alright, so I'm trying to think, if I want to grab the inverted signal, will that work? That does work. I don't know what I'll do about delays, I'll figure that out later, but I just need to make sure that this is functioning as it is first. Oh, that means... I'm gonna have to replace this with a full block real fast. Turn that into a torch. So I guess that really was the solution of, I don't want it to turn off when it's on. I want it to turn off if the one before is off. I thought about that, and then I dismissed it too quickly. Anyways, not important. Logic. It takes thinking. Let's see, will I be able to squeeze it in here without touching any of the other wires? It's hard for me to say when exactly modern Minecraft is, because the longer you play, if you keep saying one specific update is modern, that's going to work right. Yep, if you keep saying one specific update is modern, eventually that update's going to be 20 years old. Oh yeah, this is modern, 20 years ago. And so, It's hard to nail down a particular time unless if you use a specific amount of time in the past. I was thinking 1.13. I should say for a while I felt 1.13 was the start of modern, but that was 7 years ago. I can't call it 7 years ago when Minecraft is 16 years old. That's almost half as old as the game itself. I can't call modern half of its lifespan. Alright, so let me... Hold on, what state is everything in? It's all closed, right? I might just forcefully turn it on. 1.15 to 1.16 doesn't feel like a big enough jump. 1.17 to 1.18 feels like a larger jump to me. That did not help. Let me turn that on real fast. Turn that one on. This is indeed a dam. A hydropower plant, if you want to call it as such. Let's not flip that signal that I'm not supposed to. It's really hard to place these torches down to turn all the signals on. Okay, well, now let's verify that I did this right. I know the nether changed a lot, but other than the nether, is that it? I know there's small stuff and whatnot, as with every update. That's unrelated to the core theme of said update. But other than the nether being overhauled, it doesn't feel like different gameplay. As someone who spends most of my time in the overworld. What makes 1.15 your favorite update? Do you like bees that much? Or is it because of all the bugs fixed in 1.14? Or from 1.14 and earlier? Okay, so this one, that one's closed. That one's open. Open, open. Oh, we're getting somewhere. You know what I could do? I could just make the power meter outside. Okay, so then I press this button again. I should have two of them closed. Two closed, two open. Closed. Open, open, open. Uh-oh. Alright, what went wrong? Something's going wrong somewhere. Bees are one of your favorite type of fish. I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. Why you no function is the question. Let me verify I did this right, because that torch, or I should say the output, number 4's output should be on. Oh wait, no, sorry. Number 4's output should be off. Classifies bees as fish? I've not once heard of that. Why not just make a dedicated law for conservation, such as, like, if fish are, or I should say if fish have to be preserved, why not make a type of insect also able to be preserved? Alright, so I'm grabbing this one, right? Where's signal number 4? This is signal number 4, right? Wait, what? What wire is this? That's signal number 3. Did I pull number 3? Hold up. Yeah, I'm pulling from wire number 3. I made a mistake right from the beginning. I'm not supposed to be pulling from wire number 3. I'm supposed to be pulling from wire number 2. Or sorry, wire number 4. So output number 4 is this one. I have to pull from this one. Alright, so, time to start figuring out how to figure this out. So, let me get rid of you real fast. So, that's the same, right? That'll all be powered. So if I could just run this up here. Yeah, I was pulling signal number 3, verifying that signal number 3 would turn off when signal number 3 was on. That's not what I want. I need to make sure that signal 3 turns off when number 4 is on. And so, I think now it's going to work. I hope. I don't know about the timing thing yet, but we'll figure that out. And I can understand them being under the same jurisdiction, but I just don't understand why not allow bees to exist as another classification that has the same stuff without needing it to be all grouped together in such a way. This redstone thing I'm doing controls individual pistons. Let me just power it up real fast to make sure that I didn't ruin 4. Uh-oh. Did I done goof? Oh no, did I touch the wrong... was that the input, not the output? I think I made a mistake. I think I was pulling from the correct wire. No, hold on. Oh boy, you know what I should have done? I could have color-coded these. I could have used a different block for each cell. That way it's one wire for input, one wire for output. Except it's all stone. This entire system is stone. Okay, so let me just verify. Yeah, so this right here, output 4, I did done goof because this is indeed the input for 3. I was looking at the wrong wire. I was supposed to be messing with that wire, not this one. Okay, so... I'm struggling here. Okay. I do have it figured out, though. Yeah, this one was supposed to be 3. So the problem is, this wire has to be separate. So I did do this one right, originally. So this has to connect way over here, or however I had it. Something like that. And so this wire does indeed have to connect way over there. Because this one was correct. The problem is, this wire has to be separated from this. And I done goofed. Or did I? Alright, have fun over there, Coachin. Thanks for dropping on by. So yeah, what I did was, I never was pulling from the 4th wire to begin with. So let me just make sure that this is all correct. Hold on, I need to make sure everything is on. Okay, so what's currently not on is cell number 4. So let's flip that real fast. Alright, I got there in the end. It took a few tries, but eventually I figured it out. Alright, so hold on, let me make sure all of this is on. All 4 signals are currently on, therefore everything is open. I don't need to verify that. I trust. So with everything open right now, I need to start pressing the power. No, sorry, everything is closed. Wait, is everything closed or is it open? Hold on. I need to make sure that I didn't ruin the opening sequence. So we're gonna have to close it. Alright, hold on, let me go back in there and flip it again. One system at a time. Alright, so flip that one. Okay, everything is now off. That's what I want. With everything off, I need to make sure that I could turn everything back on correctly. Because everything worked originally, I just need to make sure that it works again. And I think what I'll have to do, thinking about it real fast, I need to make sure that this one has its delay. Because that's how it was before, I believe. Alright, so that's closed, 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 closed. Eventually I should get rid of that dirt. Oh, you know what? No, I was getting rid of all this gravel. That's right. I was going to turn this into a little lake or something. Oops. Hold the handrails, kids, when going up ladders. That's not a ladder, that's a staircase. Hold the handrails when going up staircases, kids. I don't think you want to fall about 20 feet. 1, 2, 3. The first one's open. I think it was the third one I had issues with. So if we're going to find a problem, the problem's going to pop up for that last one. The last 2. We're already at 20 years since me at the zoo. I remember that video. Not when it came out. It was not on YouTube at that time. But I've seen it a few times in the years since. The past 2 decades. That means we're going to start seeing YouTube channels that are 20 years old now. It'd be funny if one for their 20th anniversary says, hey, guess who's still here? There's a page somewhere that lists what the oldest active YouTube channel is. Okay, so that's 3 open. And then let me go back to 4. Oh wait, I did this right? I'm about to turn it all off and verify one more time to make sure that there are no more hiccups in the system. Alright, hopefully this is the last time I have to go down there and verify everything. I need to make sure I'm watching. It'd be nice if I had one button that just says everything off or everything on. But that's going to take even more wires, and I don't think it's worth it, since that would only be useful for debugging purposes. Adding 8 additional wires going through here is not going to be good. Like, close, 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 close. What is it that designates different phylum classifications? I don't have a senior moment, but I certainly think back, wow, that much time has passed. Close, close, closed, open. Senior moment, you feel old. I don't feel old. I just know time has passed. Closed, closed, open, open. Okay, so test 1 is complete, test 2 is complete. Let me test 3. Alright, test 3 is complete. So now press the button one more time to make sure number 4 is open. Boop. Alright, I believe everything is indeed functioning as intended. So as long as I just don't touch any more wires for the input, the power up stage, everything here works for going up. I just need to verify whether or not everything works going down. Alright, and click. So if I press that button, hopefully only the first one goes down. Unless I did the timings wrong. Closed. Open, open, open. And oink. If you consider animal vocal patterns to be speech, I'm sure that there are plenty of animals where their vocal patterns are documented. And it's not closing. Number 3 is not closing. And I wonder why. So what we're gonna do, catch some Z's, think about it, and try to figure it out in the morning. So if I turn this one back on, let me make sure that 4 opens again. Can't live without algae. Interesting. A jockey chicken? Did you intentionally call it such a way? Alright, that one's closed. Open. So if I press the button again, number 3 is supposed to close. And we are indeed getting really close towards the time here. If I press this one again. Number 3 is not closing. The question is, why is number 3 not closing? Let me go back in. Let me open up 4 real fast and see if the signals look correct. I'm going to trust that everything's currently open. Popcorn can be the name of the second chicken. I see. I better understand now. Alright, so everything is functioning as intended. So if I'm correct, the signal up here, this one should be off. This signal is indeed... Oh, you know what? I know what went wrong. I never hooked this up. I never hooked this signal back up. Oopsies, because I was supposed to steal this one down here. Oopsies. I was supposed to steal this one down here. Okay, so I need to get this signal connected to that one. How much of the stone can I dig? Well, it turns out I could actually dig more of the stone than I thought. What I think I'll do is open this up a little bit. You don't have to understand anything of the redstone, don't worry. It makes sense in my head, and so long as it makes sense in my head, I'm able to figure it out. I think we've gotten to the point of it's going to come down to figuring out timings. I'll just let that iron sit there. I don't think I need that much space. Alright, so I have to get the signal that's here. Oh wait, hold on, everything's currently on. So I need to get the inverse of that signal. Decisions, decisions, decisions. How to get this one up here without touching anything. So I could run the wire off to this direction. I just need to make sure to put a block there so that way these do not connect. And thankfully, I don't have to worry about repeaters. So with this here, now I can go up. So the wire is up here. So as long as these two connect, which is probably going to end up being, or oopsies, more to the left. I'll get rid of that block soon. Because this one has to travel a lot. There we go. So I can get rid of that one. In fact, I have to get rid of that one. Hey, it reaches. Get rid of that one, get rid of that one. Alright, cool. So now, what we're gonna do is add... We're not gonna add a repeater yet. We're gonna add a repeater if we have an issue. Oh, I forgot I need the inverse. Hold up. So that means I need to grab... Oh, do I even have enough space? This signal has to be even higher. I could put... Can't I put that there? Hold up. I need to power a redstone torch, but without everything over it. Because if I put the torch here, I cannot put a block on top. I could move it over one more as well. Because I could put it there, and so this will bring it up even farther. So then, that just keeps going. Let me get rid of all of this. Keep that block, I need it. Alright, we might be able to finish this today. It'd be really cool if this just works. I don't think we'll ever get a tutorial world for Java Edition. They've done so much infrastructure getting the game to be accessible as possible without a tutorial world. I don't think we're ever going to get one. Mending should only be found in end cities. I'd be fine without mending if repairing stuff was cheaper. Not even cheaper if repairing stuff just didn't increase the price every time. Alright, so with 4 on, that torch is off. That's what I need. So let me press this button here. That's not the button I wanted, that was powering up. If I press this button, that torch is now on. So therefore, that torch has turned on. We're gonna see just how many doors have opened. Because I need that torch on, but I don't know if I need it on sooner or later. Number 4 is now closed. Number 3 is now closed. Okay, we're getting to the delay issue. I need that torch to turn on slower. So if I need that to turn on slower, hold on, let me power back up again. Let that do its thing. Turn that back up. Here's the thing with ending villager slavery like this. You know what people are gonna do though? They're gonna say, now my villager farm is useless. Think about it like that. There will be people complaining that they don't get to keep villagers. Assuming mending is the only one they cared for. Okay, everything's all open. So if I have enough of a delay, then this should turn on, or this should only close the first one. I should say the fourth one, got to think chronologically. That one's closed. Still closed. Okay. I need more delay. The problem is I just don't physically have the space for that. I don't think. This one. That one can also be a delay. Hopefully I don't need another repeater because I don't have much space. People complained in the 1860s, so I don't see the problem. We'll see. We'll see if they ever do anything with that. About the villager trading. Oh, wait, hold on. Were the villager trading changes ever fully implemented? I don't remember what changes occurred. I just remember those being an experimental feature. Is that torch still on? The torch is still on. Press the button again. Torch is now off. Okay, that means everything is open. I press that button. That torch is indeed now on, but let me just verify whether or not everything worked. Because I really can't slow down that signal much more. Hooray! Alright, cool. So those two repeaters. So now, 1 is, or I should say 4 is closed. I need to make sure 3 closes without closing 2. I don't think I'm going to be able to fine-tune this, depending on how long it takes, but we're going to try. Alright, let me see. 4 is closed. 3 is closed. 2 is closed. I don't want it to close. Okay, I'm going to have to increase the delay that goes into number 3. How many buttons are there? Oh, there's 2 buttons. 1 button goes up, 1 button goes down. I totally overcomplicated this, Paul, because I really could have just had 1 lever for each of the different power levels. But I said, no, I'm gonna make my brain hurt. 1 button makes it go up, 1 button makes it go down. With 4 different states between. Totally worth it, though. This was a good brain exercise. Alright, so if I'm pulling the signal for 3, I need to slow it down going to 2. The one going to 2 is this one. Oh no, I could fit 1 torch there. I might have to do something about that. I might have to add more blocks here if I need more than just the 1 repeater. It's also nighttime, so I'll catch some Z's. The more violent way of complaining. I can understand that. Alright, hold on, let me verify that everything's all open. That torch is off, which means everything should be max power. Thankfully, pressing the power up button once it's already full doesn't do anything. Has no bad effects. Okay, so I press this button. I'm gonna go back over there to make sure that only 4 is closed. 4 is closed, 3 is open. So now, if I press the power down button again, four is closed, 3 is closed, 2 is still open. Okay, cool. With 2 still being opened, we're gonna see whether or not one closes or not. In fact, let me just go down there and see if I have a repeater currently. So that means the repeater would be here. So let me do that real fast. And so we'll verify from there. So hopefully if I press the power down button, the first one should still be open. Closed, closed, closed. Still open, cool. So now if I press the button one last time, as we run out of time, that last one should now be closed. Which means tomorrow it's all about just getting the visuals good. Not inside, I'm not cleaning up the redstone. It works, it works. 2, 3, and 4. Hooray! It's all over now. It works. Both power buttons to increase and decrease now function properly. So say your final thoughts as we wrap up for today. That took a lot of thinking. But yeah, next is getting those lights. Just a simple switch for that. Filling this up with water and having all 4 power bars be somewhere visible within this room. And so that is indeed all it for today. Thank you all for watching. Bye.